Okay, let's get more on this now with cryptocurrency expert Jeffrey Tucker, who's also the editorial director for the American Institute for Economic Research. He joins us now from Barrington in Massachusetts. Great to have you back with us, Jeffrey, and a happy new year to you. So let's just look at Bitcoin's recent wild ride. So back in March, it fell to around $3,600. In December, it reached $20,000. And barely 3 weeks later, it surpassed $34,000 per Bitcoin. And now it's back to around $30,000. You can hardly call it a stable asset. What's going on here? Why has it reached these dizzying heights right now?
Well, Bitcoin is being Bitcoin. I've been watching this stuff for 8 years. A month ago, I predicted that the top would either be 20K, and if we blew past that, then it would by spring hit 30 and fall back to 17. That was my prediction. I was, I guess, wrong. We did that before the end of the year. In fact, we blew past 30. So it would not at all surprise me to see a dramatic pullback and see all the headlines in the world declare that cryptocurrency is collapsing and so on. This has been going on since I've been watching, which is about since 2012. Now, but your second question is very interesting. It's like, why now? Why is this happening? And I to answer that question, I think you really need to think about the two facets of Bitcoin that have been there since the beginning. One is technological, which is that we need a currency for the internet. We need a medium of exchange. We need a payment system that's designed for the internet age. Bitcoin figured that out, after, 8, 10, 15 attempts along the way, figured that out finally in 2009. The second aspect is often forgotten, which is, I would say, like political, ideological. Bitcoin never had any confidence in the capacity of governments to manage monetary systems in the future. Satoshi Nakamoto observed what happened in 2008. He saw the fiasco that came about with that collapse and saw that the conventional fiat money was not working and we needed something more valuable. So my summary here is that 2020 was, I should say, not a very good year for government and the financial institutions that they support. And what you see is institutions rallying around this currency, this digital currency that anticipated these kinds of problems that we've seen this year.
So in terms of the volatility, though, as I mentioned, within the space of a few hours, it plunged around 17%. In your view, though, is it still an asset that's worth buying?
Well, for the patient, it is. Remember that after the last 20K top, fell down to 3, and then for about 3 years, it was toggling up and down between like 8 and 12. And for people who bought in that period, they were mostly bored. If you buy cryptocurrency and get an app and wake up 3 times a night hoping to become a millionaire, you're not doing it the right way. You really do have to have a philosophical commitment to this stuff. Buy it at any price, doesn't matter, and hold on to it for as long as possible. I've honestly, Oscar, over the last 8 years, I'm not an investment advisor, so I don't actually recommend that people do anything. But people hear me talk and they go out and buy it, and then the thing collapses and they come after me later. They say, "Oh, you gave me terrible advice." Well, I never gave you an advice. But when people tend to buy is when everything's really exciting and it's in the news and I'm on your show talking about it. And people hear it and they go, "Oh, now's the time to buy." Well, the problem is that you're probably going to get temporarily fleeced, sometime in the next 6 to 12 months and feel like you made a really bad bet. You can't be emotional about it. You have to have a philosophical attachment to it. Hold on to it as long as possible. Use it, as necessary, but not be investing in this as if it's a Microsoft or an Apple or even gold. It's really different.
But we know that global financial markets are now awash with cash as central banks around the world print trillions of dollars worth of extra currency in order to, I guess, buffet the world economy from this pandemic. How much of this rally in Bitcoin has got to do with that? The fact that there's so much money supply out there right now and investors, including institutional investors, are just willing to gamble a bit.
If there's an insight to what you just said, it's purely a technical matter. Like you look at the charts on money supply, you name the country, it doesn't matter, and they are absolutely astonishing. I mean, like the world history has never seen anything like this. Maybe with the exception of Weimar or somebody like that. But the amount of monetary money creation this year is indescribable. However, we're not seeing the effects of that money on the real economy yet because the lockdowns are still in place. The pandemic policy responses really devastated the global economy, and we have deflationary pressure, despite the fact that the banks are awash in cash.
Yeah.
There still needs to be a mechanism to get that out in the street, and that mechanism is not here. So if you have a point there, it's purely a technical point that you're looking at the chart, you're thinking something's gone really haywire.
Okay.
Bitcoin seems to be a good, safe place for my money.
Okay, Jeffrey Tucker, we'll see how much higher or indeed lower Bitcoin can go. Thank you again for joining us.